Hey, what's up, neighbors? Welcome to this week's lesson video from the Big Idea Camp. This is Jeremy Holbrook. So glad you're here with us today. This is week 3 of May, and we've only got this week and next week, and then the year is over. Holy moly, have we really put together 40 weeks of content this year? Yes, we have. And I am so glad and so proud of you for being with us for this duration. We've gone through 10 months at 4 lessons a month, and wow, through COVID-19, through our second year of school with that, it's been a struggle. It's been a battle, but I am so absolutely proud of you. I'm so absolutely proud of this team who has put this together. So we're going to make these last 2 weeks the best we can to celebrate the end of the school year. And you know, a lot of us have been thinking about this last month of school and what it takes to finish strong. And you may ask yourself, what does it take to finish strong? Because sometimes it's easy to get to a point and just like fall off the cliff. Well, we have been talking about this lesson, this value. And what is a value? It's something that starts inside of you. You know, it's like an idea that you read about or some concept. And you're like, man, that makes sense. I'm going to use that in my life. And so that idea becomes an action. It becomes something that you do, a verb, right? And this month we've been talking about the value. Look at it. It says commitment, making a plan and putting it into practice. If you want to succeed, if you want to end well, if you want to complete this school year well, it's going to take a little bit of commitment. It's going to take a plan. It's going to say, you know what? I've got these tests. I'm going to study. And maybe it's the last time I study this school year, but I'm going to do this so I can succeed, so I can finish well. And commitment. That's what it is. Making a plan and putting it into practice. I want you to finish this school year well. I want you to take those tests. I want you to succeed. I want you to be proud of yourself for all the things that you've accomplished, especially at the end. It's very important. Now, last week we talked about the hummingbird. Isn't that crazy, man? I learned something nuts last week, that the hummingbird can eat like twice its body weight in a day. And it does that because it's so active. And it goes from, flower to flower and gets the nutrition it needs. Hummingbirds have the time. Hummingbirds have to time things just right. They have to time things just right. When we talked about like when it gets to the winter, how they have to go south. They have to do it perfectly well to get there. And that is commitment. It's very interesting. So let's learn a little bit more about commitment today. We're going to watch a lesson video together, and we're going to discuss it afterwards. We're going to talk about our week sheet. So are you ready? Let's learn a little bit more about commitment today.
Hey kids up there on the other side of the screen, I got a screen right here with a letter on it from Noah in Mississippi. You know, the place that gives us the perfect way to count seconds. And that took you about 2 Mississippis to get that. Anyway, here's what Noah has to say. Dear Zachary, my school had play tryouts for the adventures of Tom Sawyer. I just know I had to be him. I was so excited when the director said I got the part. I was going to be the best Tom Sawyer since Tom Sawyer, maybe even better. And then I got the script. I had a lot of lines to memorize, like all the lines in the whole play. I'd already said I'd take the part, but there was no way I could do it. I needed a plan B. What if I could go up there and just do funny stuff instead? Or maybe I could just make up the lines. So, Aunt Polly, you want me to paint the fence, huh? I think it'd be more fun if you painted it. And scene. We were only 2 weeks from the performance, and my plan Bs were not working. So finally, I tried to make Jeff take the part instead. And that's plan C if you were keeping track. But it turns out Jeff was really attached to his role as Tom's Aunt Polly. That's when it hit me. I was putting more work into getting out of it than just doing it. So then I got Jeff to help me memorize the lines. and it didn't take long to memorize them. Now I'm all ready to be Tom Sawyer tomorrow night. So check that out, kids. Noah wanted to do something awesome, but he had to stick with his plan to make it happen. And you can make it happen too. You just have to remember this. Commitment is making a plan and putting it into practice.
I thought that was really good advice. It reminds me when I was in high school and college, what he said there at the end. I was putting more effort into getting out of it than to do the thing. I remember specifically in college, I tried probably 3 or 4 times as hard to not study than I did to study. Like, I cleaned gutters of one of my college professors just to get a C in the class, and I probably didn't even need to do that. I probably just could have studied and passed the class, but for some reason my brain just wasn't thinking. So let's talk a little bit more commitment. Let's look at this week's worksheet. Let's talk about this together. Over there by the Hummingbird, it says, patience. Let's got the wrong one. We're talking about commitment, so obviously the worksheet's wrong, so don't worry about that. But it says right here, tell about a character that shows commitment. Now, what book have you read, or what show have you watched, or what movie have you recently seen that had a character that was committed? I've been watching the Marvel movies again, and I like the Marvel superhero movies, and how each specific hero is committed to a certain victory. And I like how they are committed, and sometimes that path that they think is going to get them there, sometimes it takes a weird turn, but eventually they get back on path to accomplish their mission. Commitment's seeing where you want to go and getting there and putting in a plan, but I promise you, sometimes our plans don't go the way we think they will. There's going to be a turn, there's going to be some misdirection, but I promise you, keep your eye on that goal, and our commitment will pay off in the end with a victory. It says, what does it feel like to accomplish a goal? I'm looking at the top of the page here. What does it feel like to accomplish a goal that was difficult? Feels good, doesn't it? It feels good to succeed in the difficult things. What does it feel like to do something easy? Why do you think it's different? Why do you think it's different when you do something simple versus you accomplish something difficult? I think mostly it's because you put more effort into that difficult. Maybe it takes more steps. It takes a higher degree of skill. Maybe it takes a lot of practice to accomplish that is more difficult. But how do you think it feels? What's the difference for you? It says, draw a picture of you sticking with something hard. What's something that you've been doing lately, that you've been working on? You've been working on to get better. Hasn't been easy. What's something you've been doing? And of course, some of my favorite things over here. How do you feel today? And I want you to know, no matter what your answer is, it's not the wrong answer. There is no wrong answer of how do you feel. There isn't. I mean, you can be scared, annoyed, sick, angry, frustrated, or worried, and that's the right answer because it's your answer. And the fact that you can see and you can understand how you feel makes me really, really proud of you. Because it's only when you understand how you feel that we can do something about it. Remember what our hero said, that anything mentionable is manageable? If you know you're annoyed, then it gives you some space to work on that. If you know that you're angry, it gives you space to work that out. Don't stay angry. You can be angry. Angry's fine. I get angry all the time. But don't stay there. Work it out, right? Work it out. Remember, our hero said, my hero's right there, Mr. Rogers. Anything that's mentionable is manageable. So take time, process, consider, measure. How is it that you feel? And then take some steps. I know you can. Like I said earlier in this show, we're down to one more show. This is the 39th episode of the Big Idea Camp this school year, and the 40th is the final. We also have done 32 episodes of Homework Helpers this year. Whew. We've been live streaming on Mondays, helping students connect to their homework with people that care about them if they've had issues with their assignments and whatnot. So thank you for being a part of that. Again, thanks to Clark's Pump and Shop. What an amazing community partner they have been to us this entire school year. Guys, listen. I'm committed to letting you know how special you are. I've got a plan, and I'm going to stick with it. I'm going to make sure that I tell you every chance that I get that I like you just the way you are. I'm so proud of you and the way that you are growing and the way that you have grown this year. Now, when you think about it, let's look back 39 weeks ago. Where were you then? You're different now. You've grown. Think about where we'll be in another 39 weeks. We're always growing, and that's a good thing. So I'm excited to come back next week and finish the program for the year. And again, I just want to say thanks. Thanks for being with me. Thanks for being committed. It means a lot to me. And we'll see you again next week, and we'll finish this thing together. Talk to you soon.